For 2024, Titleist has not updated the Pro V1 or the Pro V1X, but there is a new version of AVX, and I think it's a golf ball that a lot of players don't really fully understand. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you everything you need to know about the Titleist AVX for 2024. So let's start right from the beginning. AVX. Titleist AVX stands for Alternative to V and X, and this golf ball has been around since 2017. Like the Titleist Pro V1, it's a three-piece golf ball, and as you can see here, it has a very large rubber core, and that is surrounded by a relatively firm casing layer. And on the outside, just like the Pro V1 and the Pro V1X, this golf ball has a urethane cover. Okay, so from the get-go, Titleist AVX has always been a ball that spins less and feels softer and creates a lower ball flight than either the Pro V1 or the Pro V1X. And for 2024, what Titleist set out to do was create more greenside spin without necessarily sacrificing that low spin off the tee and with long irons, and without sacrificing that lower trajectory for players who really generate a lot of excessive spin both off the tee and with their longer clubs. So how'd they go about doing that? First, they actually made the core of the golf ball physically smaller. Now this is a gradient core, which means that the innermost portion of the core itself is the softest. And then as you work your way towards the outside of the perimeter of the golf ball, the core itself gets firmer and firmer. Now all of that is encased in a very firm casing layer. So when a golfer basically strikes the ball with a golf face, or a club face I should say, that's more vertical, a driver, a long iron, etc., the energy is going to be transferred through the cover, through that casing layer, and into the core, and that's what's going to help to generate a lot more ball speed. So that's the story with the core, and for the most part, the casing layer really hasn't changed. But by making the core itself a little bit smaller, it allowed Titleist designers and engineers to be able to make the cover material a little bit thicker. It's still a very, very soft urethane, but it is a thicker urethane cover, and that allows the grooves in your wedges and in your short irons to grab a hold of it a little bit more effectively and create more spin when you're going with clubs that have more loft. So again, you're getting the benefit of low spin off the tee, low trajectory off the tee, soft feel off the tee. But then when you get around the greens, you're going to get more greenside spin than you would have gotten from previous generations of AVX. Now, the dimple pattern in the 2024 AVX originally was put into a Titleist Tour softball. That golf ball is a two-piece golf ball, a distance golf ball, something that's at a much lower price point. But when it's put onto the AVX, according to Titleist, it really helps with the aerodynamics, and it helps the ball maintain stability through the wind, so it's not going to get pushed around nearly as much as it would. Okay, so that's what you need to know about the 2024 AVX. How does that golf ball relate to the Pro V1X? Well, the Pro V1X is a four-piece golf ball. This has two cores surrounded by a mantle layer and a urethane cover, whereas AVX is three. The Titleist Pro V1X is going to be the highest flying off the tee and the highest spinning off the tee golf ball amongst the Pro V1X, the Pro V1, and the AVX. So if you're somebody who is looking to create more carry distance on your drives, if you're somebody who wants a very firm feeling golf ball, the Titleist Pro V1X is also going to have the highest compression. We're now talking a golf ball that's probably going to be in the mid-90s, whereas the AVX, again, has a compression around 80. So it's going to be a significant difference in feel and in sound. Around the greens, the Titleist Pro V1X will also generate a little bit more greenside spin than the Titleist AVX. If you then transition and try and do a comparison between AVX and Pro V1, now we're getting a little bit closer. Titleist Pro V1 is a three-piece golf ball, just like AVX is a three-piece golf ball. But this golf ball, the Pro V1, has a higher compression. It's also going to create a little bit more spin at launch. It's also going to create a slightly higher launch angle with all of your longer clubs. The Titleist AVX is going to spin less and have a lower trajectory off the tee and with your longer clubs than with the Pro V1. Around the green, because it has a slightly higher overall compression, the Titleist Pro V1 will probably spin just a little bit more than even the new 2024 updated version of AVX. Okay, so if that's the case, who is AVX for? Well, I think the obvious thing is anybody who generates excessive spin off the tee and with their longer clubs is potentially a candidate for AVX. It will spin less. It will also create a lower launch angle. So if you're somebody who just tends to really send your drives and your long iron shots to the moons, to the point where you're robbing yourself of distance if you were going to be using a Pro V1 or Pro V1X, AVX might be able to give you a little bit more overall distance because it's going to reduce spin, it's going to lower your flight, and you're probably going to get more overall distance with that. If you're a golfer who just insists on playing a softer feeling golf ball, but you want a Titleist ball with a urethane cover, The Titleist AVX is going to be the softest feeling of the premium golf balls in the Titleist stable. For 2024, the benefit being that you're going to get that softer feel, you're going to get that reduced spin with the longer clubs, and you're going to get that lower launch angle, but the 2024 edition of AVX is going to spin on approach shots a little bit more than the previous versions of AVX. Look, the best way to find out whether AVX or Pro V1 or Pro V1X is going to be right for you is to grab a sleeve of these golf balls, take them out into the golf course and put them through their paces. Start at the green, hit a series of chip shots, pitch shots, bunker shots, see how they feel to you, see how much spin you generate around the greens on your short game shots. Do you prefer one to the other? Do you find that you're able to control the ball a little bit more effectively with one from the other? Then work your way back away from the green, hit some mid-iron shots, hit some shots with your longer irons, your hybrids, then go off the tee. The last place where you try out these golf balls is going to be off the tee, because performance-wise, distance-wise, they're going to be most similar off the tee. The biggest difference between these golf balls will probably be felt from, say, like 8-iron, 7-iron, and closer to the green. Around the greens, you're going to see a bigger difference between these golf balls than you will off the tee. There's just no getting around it. The best way to find out which Titleist golf ball is going to be right for you is to go out there and try them for yourself.